Hello, and welcome to 2022. Yes, this is my first vlog of the year. It is the 6th of January, and all the festivities are over, and we all have to get back to work. And what a very puzzling time we are in. I was hoping that the 2022 would be a more positive year than last year, and I think in the main it will be. On a personal note, I had the sadness of the news that my very first agent, Barry Stacey, passed away in the early hours of January the 1st. I'll get back to him a bit later. But I can say that things are very positive. Several of you have contacted me to complain about the New Year's honours list, and that you disagree with some people getting an honour when others haven't. All I can say, it happens every year, well, twice a year, and I personally think it's all a bit of fun. It's all a bit of fun seeing who got what and why. There are some people I would agree you put a big question mark by, but then there we go. But I have a good friend who was in the army, and he's got a string of medals, and service medals as well as combat medals, and on a personal note, I think they're far more important and should be recognised more than a MBE or a CBE or whatever. That's what I'm going to finish on with that. I can let everybody know that the Hawk Chronicles continue, and I have recorded episode 174 today, so that'll be out soon. I just want to say that I will be attending a few events in the UK, and the first one will be Geeks Retreat in Kettering on the 29th of January. And back to Barry Stacey. For those of you who didn't know him, he was the real theatrical queen, as some would say, but he was a very good and honest person. He died at the age of 95. He was a tour de force, and it was COVID that got him in the end. So please, all mask up, all get vaccinated. I will just give you a couple of stories about Barry. He called me in one day and said, "How are you about nude, darling?" And he was telling me that he was putting me up for what the Butler saw, in which there's a character, a police officer, who appears on stage without a stitch on and protecting his modesty with his policeman's helmet. I was quite up for that. But I had to go and see him about it. And at the time, those of you old enough will recall, there was railway strikes. British Rail were on strike, as well as the Underground. So to get into central London was very difficult. But I managed it. I climbed the flights of stairs to Barry Stacey. And as I opened the door, he looked at me, he said, "Oh, good God, you're far too fat." And I said, "Barry, you know my sizes, you know my statistics." And he said, "Well, that's showbiz, lovey." I was so outraged by it that I couldn't actually stop laughing. And on another occasion, I was in Foyles, the bookshop in London, which was opposite his flat, and I was with my mother. And as we came out of Foyles, I heard this phrase, "Daughter, daughter, don't ignore me, you hag." And that was Barry Stacey. And I had to introduce him to my mother. A little embarrassed in his style, but whatever people have said about him, I can only speak positively. It is because of Barry. When he interviewed me, he said, "I'll take a gamble, darling, but I promise nothing." Well, his gamble gave me work, gave me contracts so I could get my equity card. And at the time, I needed my equity card so I could get work in the West End and certain TV and film jobs. Things have changed, of course. An equity card comes in a Christmas cracker nowadays. But in 1985, it was needed. And so thank you, Barry Stacey. If it wasn't for you taking your gamble, I wouldn't be here delivering this vlog today. On that positive note, I wish you all the best for this year, and keep a stiff upper lip, and just carry on regardless of whatever is going on in the world. Just be positive, or as positive as you can. So until the next vlog, I'll say toodle pip.